In the best neighborhoods of what is now Israel, a phrase regularly appears in real estate listings for the most expensive sought-after properties: authentic Arab style. It appears next to photographs of arched doorways and hand-painted tiles, of thick limestone walls and high ceilings built to hold the heat of a Mediterranean summer, of gardens planted by people who expected to grow old in them. In 1926, Harun Bisharat built a palatial stone house in Talbieh, then one of Jerusalem's most prosperous Arab neighborhoods. He named the house Villa Harun ar-Rashid. The house was seized after 1948 by the government of Israel, along with all the Palestinian homes in the neighborhood. The house was divided into flats for government officials. The top floor was the official residence of Golda Meir. Meir said in an interview with the Sunday Times, "There is no such thing as Palestinians. It was not as though there was a Palestinian people and we came and threw them out and took their country. They did not exist." Before Golda Meir was to host UN General Secretary Dag Hammarskjöld at the residence, she had the tiles with the Arabic script on the building's upper facade knocked off. I suppose living in the house of people she said didn't exist wouldn't be a good look. James Stewart Snyder occupied the villa during his tenure as director of the Israel Museum. During that time, the museum mounted 2 major exhibitions on art looted from Jewish families during the Nazi period. The catalog of the Orphaned art exhibition stated, "The effort to identify the original owners is part of a broader commitment to restore, insofar as possible, what was taken." Provenance research is not only a scholarly endeavor, but a moral imperative. People who pay premiums for historic houses are typically obsessive about provenance. They seek out former owners' families for information. Yet in a video tour of the house in 2011, Schneider demonstrated a level of ignorance about the house's history that is difficult to reconcile with his resume. Schneider describes the house as having been built on spec to lease by a nameless Arab family. In fact, it was built by Harun Bisharat to be the Bisharat family home. They never intended to lease it, but unfortunately, a reversal of fortune in the 1930s depression forced them to move to a more modest house nearby and lease the house to RAF officers. Schneider describes the house as an Arab-style home built for British taste, but the British officers who leased it had all the frescoes plastered over, as the house was not designed for British taste. It was designed for an Arab family. The name of the villa, he explains, was chosen because it sounded impressive. The name of the architect of the Dome of the Rock. Harun ar-Rashid was not the architect of the Dome of the Rock. He ruled almost 100 years after its construction. Although a Christian, Bisharat named his home in honor of a caliph he admired for his passion for justice, generosity, and love of learning. The choice of name was a cultural touchstone for the civilization his family had been an integral part of for 1,000 years. Harun Bisharat's grandson, George, a law professor in San Francisco, visited the house with his children in 2000. The American who answered the door was friendly. "Many tourists come to see this house," he said. "It's included in walking tours of the city." George told him who he was. The owner's response? He insisted 6 times that the Bisharat family had never lived there. 23 years later, the documentary Resistance Climbing records Hannah's great-grandson, Andrew Bisharat's visit to the ancestral home.
That's it. Built in 1926 by Hannah Ibrahim Bisharat. This is my grandfather, Victor Bisharat. It's hard to think about how, before they were forced to flee, our large family thrived in this safe and beautiful place.
Stop.
Probably thinking it would all go on forever. Everyone I've met in Palestine has said, "Welcome home." And I feel that right now.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please like and subscribe.